Here's an update video. It's July 30th, 2021. And some of this is really coming together. Some of it needs a little bit more work. We just had a really bad freeze last year. It got down to 9 degrees. Most of this stuff came back. None of this is replanted. I didn't know what didn't come back really until May, so I'm not going to plant new stuff until October. So I'm growing stuff. But this looks great, but we'll start over here. This is brand new. Mexican Mint Marigold. I just like the really formal shape that it gives. So as you're coming into my property line, you'll see the white, Austin white limestone, and then very formal shape of a Mexican Mint Marigold, and I'm going to bring that all the way back. I like Mexican Mint Marigold. We're going to fill this whole area with it. I've got 7 of them here right now. I've got 7 more growing at home. I probably need another 12 to 15 of them here. I'm also going to put another line of big red sage. So this was an endangered plant, and it's a special kind of plant, Salvia pensteminoides, because it looks like a penstemon, or it looks like a salvia, but it's actually a penstemon. And this particular plant is a host for all butterflies, or not a host, a food source. So some plants only feed one type of butterfly. Some of those plants we'll cover here in a little bit. This kind of plant feeds all butterflies. So you can see the very unique pink. I have it here for a very specific reason. This is for most of this, it's its first year. For some of it's its second year. So it kind of looks ratty. But in another couple of years, this is going to just fill this whole area. So everything behind it is a bluebonnet patch. And yeah, I mean, when bluebonnets aren't there, it's going to be weeds, and I have to weed it to show the bluebonnets, and then this is going to be in front of it to screen, so that way you won't see this at all. Hopefully the eye candy I'm about to show you will more than make up for it. So this is a mealy blue sage. It's on its way out here. I keep it because the bumblebees still come to it. And mealy blue sage there. This one here happens to be from the Pecos River Valley. Happens to be from Devil's River Valley, actually. Salvia gregii. I really like the contrast of the small leaves to the really big leaves. This is a focal point for me here. The cannas. These Canna Lilies grow really well here. And like I said, it's a big contrast of the big leaves to the small leaves. I have a big row of Salvia gregii all the way up. This one died in the freeze, and there's one behind me that died in the freeze too. So this isn't a full row yet, but we'll replant stuff. This is a bollard. I just have it like an artsy bollard. People like to drive through my yard. Like seriously, people were driving 3 feet into my yard. So I put some artsy bollards here, and I spaced them back about 18 inches, I guess, from the curb, something like that. So yeah, hopefully they'll do their job. This plant is awesome. You can see the wildlife. I mean, it just attracts so much stuff. Mystic Spire's sage, and it blooms for just forever. I was about to say for years, but it blooms for months, from can until can't. This you can see all the spires, and I mean, at nighttime, if you come out here with a flashlight, this is just lit up with the wildlife. More Salvia gregii, Salvia gregii, Salvia gregii. And then we have this guy. This is a Forsythia sage. I'd never had this before, but it's getting too big. I didn't want big right here. I want small right here, and so I'm going to have to take this and move it. So I will be moving it. Regardless, Greg's Mist Flower has taken over. That's awesome. This is a butterfly magnet, and so I leave it here. And it does a pretty good job of keeping down the grass and the weeds too. Now the original Pride of Barbados all died, but the seeds have come up like crazy. So I've got a whole bunch that are growing where the seeds think they should grow. So my goal is to let the Pride of Barbados and the Esperanza play together. It's my favorite combination. I don't know, I've got the space set out right here for it to happen. I don't know if it's going to be able to work, but the Esperanza is coming back from the freeze. The Pride of Barbados is coming back from the freeze, and they should play well. The Esperanza might bloom this year. Pride of Barbados, there's one. You can see. but it sure does look nice. And that's just a nice view as opposed to just St. Augustine grass. This is a sweet almond verbena. The smell coming from this thing is just unreal. I really do. I don't so much like the structure of the plant, but it's beautiful. The smell is incredible. And I got a little path here now. This is a little stonework that I've done. These are azaleas. I wanted to pay tribute to the first garden that was here. These are azaleas, so I left these. They're being overrun a little bit by vines. I'm trying to get in there and get them as I can. Got a Yopon holly growing up there that I trimmed up so you can walk down. This tree I think is going to have to go. I think I'm going to pull out this tree this summer maybe or something. I don't know. I'm going to have eventually, this is going to be my garden space right here. You can see I'm leveling this right here. This is eventually going to be my food garden. And I want to have stuff. I mean, it's going to go way back there like that. So this tree might give too much shade. Yeah, because I do need the midday sun. So coming over here, you can see I just leveled. There was just big holes in the yards. Trees, there were huge trees here before. It's really sad, but all of these had huge trees in them, and there's more than this even. So yeah, just a path, azaleas, and there's a plan for this bed right here too, all the way up to there is planned. But my neighbor's putting in a house, and I need to find out where his house is going to go so I can finish the plan. I've got the plants, a lot of them growing right now. These are mountain laurels. All of the mountain laurels died this year that were in pots. If they weren't in the ground, they died. So I had some seedlings, so I put them in the ground, and I'm going to put 2 more in here. I just going to wait till October, a little more favorable growing time. And yeah, compost pile coming along right here. I'm eventually going to put a big compost pile here, 16 by 8 or 12 by 8 rather, but not quite yet. So this is a black and blue sage. It is a cultivar of a majestic sage. You can't plant it from seed. You have to grow it from cuttings. So I put 3 of them here, and I've just been pinning down branches, pinning down branches, pinning down branches, pinning down branches. So it's grown okay. I mean, it's its 3rd year. I really like it when it's in bloom. Right now it's kind of going off bloom. Got a nice Texas sage here. We're gonna put 2 more in right here as well. One, bam, bam. This is a silver Eldorado. This is an Eldorado Texas sage. The tropical sage is really taken over here, which is great. It's exactly what I wanted. This is all Salvia coccinea, tropical sage, and it's growing great. You can see these are Rio Bravo sages, Texas sages, and they're not looking excellent. I would expect more from them by now, but that's okay. They're still young. They've only been there for 2 years, so we're gonna give it another few years. This plant here is a Firecracker Fern. Kind of see that right there. Hummingbirds love it when it's in bloom. The problem is my plants need to be able to come in and take over an area so that I don't have to come in and weed them. Well, I had to pull a whole bunch of weeds here twice because this thing is just not growing in as compared to this. This is also 1 year's worth of growth, or 1 season's worth of growth. This is flame Acanthus. So the hummingbirds really like flame Acanthus more than they like the Firecracker Fern. I'm thinking I'm going to let the flame Acanthus just fill in right here and eventually take over the Firecracker Fern. It's just, I'm not going to come out here and weed this all the time. And the flame Acanthus will do a lot of great job to attract wildlife and stuff. So I think the Firecracker Fern might have to go. I mean, it was 9 degrees in the freeze, but still, you got to be able to do better than what you're doing here. Wow, that is a substantial hole. You can see that right there. Just a big old hole, something dug in there. Plumbago. These are all Plumbagos here. I want the Plumbago to be the backdrop. This is going to be a red, white, and blue garden. You can see these are canyon sages. It's not Salvia gregii. Here's some that are still blooming. This is a Salvia macrophylla, which is a canyon sage. This is a hot lips version. You can see the red and the white on the same plant there. These are kind of going off cycle. You know, it's almost August, right? Most things are going off cycle here. So eventually I'm going to have a red, white, and blue garden. And whenever these are not blooming, these will be blooming because the flame acanthus blooms in August. These guys are still pretty young here. That's the reason they're not blooming. This is only their 3rd year, I think. But normally during August they would be blooming. I think they're just about to start though, based on the look of them. Mexican bush sage. I really love this plant. You can see some of them died during the freeze. I've got a couple growing at home, so we'll replace them. But the goal is to put 2 rows of Mexican bush sage right here, so we'll have a nice big show in the fall all the way up, and then red and white right in here, blue over here, and then this guy's killing me. So it's not looking bad, really. I mean, it's been a lot of work. This first section took 2 seasons. That section over there took a year so far. Plus I put in the stone. You can see I'm taking the extra stones that we have like this, and I'm gonna make a path out of them. I think we have enough to finish, actually. They're buried in the ground, but I think I have enough to finish the path here. A lot of people call these weeds. I call them asters. They're sunflowers. Birds love these. I mean, this is right here, this is a bird garden. All of these will be picked clean by birds. So I really like my sunflower garden. The homeowner association doesn't so much. I have planted so many different kinds of sunflowers in here, but I'm pretty sure I'm only getting 1 kind, maybe 2. I mean, there's this here that, oh, actually, I guess maybe. I'd have to look further. I'm not going to be there right now. But I think I'm only getting 1. I planted distinct varieties. I planted a red one, and I planted a mammoth, California mammoth. They're supposed to get huge. None of them are taking off here. So, but the benefit to these asters is that there is about a month out of the year where nothing is blooming unless it is an aster. So having these asters here is an attractant for pollinators to my garden during that month. I want pollinators to stay in my yard. If I can keep them here, then it's not that hard for them to get over there or over there. So I just want to keep them in the yard. And my neighbor really likes sunflowers, so I planted these here. These are Lantanas. These are New Gold Lantanas. And that one's actually getting pretty tall. He should fall over here pretty quick. And you can see the color, really nice color there. I really want a nice yellow pop here. There is going to be more Greg's Mistflower over here. It's going to play with the yellow, but this is what I want here for now. Azaleas. The only reason this azaleas here is because these things are so expensive. For me to buy a plant that big would be like 150 bucks. So I'm going to keep it around. I just don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I am going to put the azaleas somewhere. I just don't know where yet. So it is what it is. Turk's cap. Well, I love Turk's cap. It got out of control though. You can see it just got huge. So I kind of put it back in its borders. I might even shrink it a little bit more, but for now that's good. And I've got some problems with vines back there. I'll take care of those in the fall, whatever. It is what it is. This whole bed is a problem right now. So, obviously you can see it's just Turk's cap. You can see how far it grew. Turk's cap got way out of control. So we got these nice big 6-inch Austin white limestone bricks. Put them in here. From the back, you can see a Yopon holly, what am I trying to say? Loquat. We come over here, and I was really trying to hide the AC unit, hide the profile of the AC unit, and I think in a few years it'll do a better job. For now, I've got these 3 sable miners here, and I've got the crepe myrtle to shade the garden. So there you have it. That's the front yard. So you can see the coverage there. It's about 11 o'clock and it's mostly covered thanks to these plants. You can also see the previous owners had these cut down. I have them here to act as a screen. They really add a layer of privacy, I believe. Should come out to the lake. So that's a tree that I let live. It was volunteered, not in the exact spot. I wanted one about 6 feet away, but I rationalized whatever, 6 feet works. So it's there. It's the same kind of tree as this tree there, which is a water oak. It's going to be my second layer tree. I'm going to have a tree on the other side of it too. And they get kind of brittle, so I don't want it on the outside of my windscreen. I kind of want it on the inside. And yeah, that's what we got here so far. A volunteer tropical sage. Working on this bed here. I'm trying to get everything out of there so I can replant. Same thing here, trying to get everything out of there so I can replant. There is a Sabal minor growing right there, which is kind of cool. Drummond red maple. Drummond red maple. This one is a to work with this as a screen for the shade. This one is a replacement for this. This tree got broken off in a storm several years back, and there's holes up at the top. Anyway, I won't. There's holes up at the top there, so it's getting hollow, and so it's going to break soon, or it's going to have to be pulled down soon, or whatever. But that tree's not going to be there long. So I put something here that'll grow fast in its place. Once it goes, I'll probably put something in front of it too. But for right now, that's what I've got there. And I've got this as the replacement. Also, more improvements. Move the hose over here. Got a whole bunch of irrigation stuff going on down here. Sabal minors right here. Haven't worked on this bed yet. I'm not ready for this bed, honestly, but I had the stone, so I just went ahead and did it. Put in fresh sod because we just had the bulkhead redone. Fresh sod. And that is the living fence. So this is a Loblolly Pine, which is the kind of pines we typically have here in native. These are longleaf pines. I don't know if they'll grow here. I got 3 of them to try it out. I'm going to get, I think, 2 more Loblollies over here. But I think I'm just going to have 3 of these because I don't even know if they're going to grow. Maybe they're short-lived, or maybe they get really brittle, or they're native to Texas, just not native to this area. But you can see they kind of look like a puffball when they're little. So they get a lot of attention. People always ask me what that is. These spots just leveling the ground here. Monterey oak, Monterey oak, Monterey oak. Yep. I know what you're going to say. They're pretty close together, and you're right. They are pretty close together. 10 feet apart approximately. 12 feet maybe. Those oaks, though, are so small, they would grow closer in a forest. And they're so small right now that they'll figure it out. Here in about 7 years, whenever they start actually touching each other, they will figure it out together. They've got plenty of time to grow. This is a cherry laurel. That might actually get sacrificed. Once this whole thing gets big, the cherry laurel might get sacrificed because I'm going to have vines on the fence too. The cherry laurel is there for some fast screening because it will grow faster than these. I'm hoping all 4 of these can grow together, all 5 of these actually. I'm hoping that they can all 5 grow together, but these 2 might have to be sacrificed regardless. So this is a wax myrtle that was doing terrible at my house. It had like 5 leaves on it, and I think it likes Houston better. I think it likes Houston. It's only been here for like 3 months. And a screen of Yopon hollies. These are first years. I had just put these in a few months ago, so I know they don't look very good, but I mean, they're coming along. They're doing pretty good. They got berries on them, and one of them died, but they've grown and they're getting bigger, and I don't know. Wait and see. This is my living fence here. We'll get to the garden here in a second. But also, this is the other compost pile, and this is a leveling spot here. Also, this is an orange tree, a Satsuma orange, and this is a avocado tree, an avocado. I'm also going to put a lemon tree back here, and we've got a pear already, so I'm going to get another pear back here. I'm going to get a fig over here and a pecan over here somewhere. Maybe the pecan goes here, I don't know. Pears over here somewhere. So this whole area is going to be an orchard. This guy, I'm pretty happy with this. It's turned out well. This is what I wanted for this, which is a stone garden here. So before we had railroad ties, and they were kind of rotting, and they were just kind of stones propping up the dirt that was eroding. This is more like it. This is stone. It's a lot more permanent. Now once the ground gets put in there, it'll be very stable. This dirt is brand new. I just had it put in. Most everything's buried under there. I hope it comes out, but it might not. Yeah, you can definitely see the difference. I like it a lot. Pond is drained right now. Had leeches in the pond, so That's what it is. These are a couple of mountain laurels that are going up front in October. A couple of succulents. It's coming along. It's coming along.